Since the time when men gathered around campfires and told tales of the warriors who challenged the monsters that gather in the dark. The mighty men who fought alongside the gods, some rising to victory, others falling to the abyss. These are the heroes who became the myths of the machine.
It was a routine mission. The soldier was relaxed before the order was given and the operation began. His team would be flown to the target location on ultra-secret aircraft, and they would use glider packs instead of traditional parachutes to make silent landfall. Once on target, they'd proceed to the enemy's secret bunker laboratory, clear all enemy personnel on site, extract all scientific and strategic military data, then sanitize the site, removing all traces of their intrusion, including the very bunker, from the face of the Earth. Once this mission was complete, the next satellite photo of the region would show only a fresh crater the size of 3 football gridirons. The mission was simple. The rules of engagement were specific. Scorched earth. The cabin ready light flashed, then remained solid yellow. Time to power up the glider's GPS navigation system and targeting array. Silent magnetic caterpillar turbines powered to ready idle. The turbine would add lift to the glider pack in the thin air of the high-altitude mountain atmosphere. The descent went flawlessly, his team's computer systems synchronizing their flight's landing. They divested themselves of the glider pack units, activating their advanced night vision gear. They proceeded to the target, with weapons hot. The team's progress was monitored by a strategic command with their onboard camera broadcast systems and with the aerial drones circling overhead, which also provided the jamming of the radio cell phone signals that might try to warn the target's associates of their covert incursion at the secret lab. Intel told them the site was soft, minimal security and armament, but their personal systems were indicating something quite different. 2 troop carriers, an APC, and sentries, also equipped with standard night vision. The heads-up display in his visor flashed the team leader's advisory. Activate optic scramblers. Without looking, his finger pressed the activation node on his forearm keypad. His optic scrambler sent out a signal that photo-scanned his immediate surrounding and projected a 3-meter diameter holographic image around him, effectively camouflaging him from any visual observation or standard electronic detection. His team would proceed to target securely out of sight of the enemy defenders. The heads-up display delivered new commands for the soldier and his teammates as they were assigned new targeting orders before taking the bunker. They would each take a zone, clear it, then any target of opportunity. The silent display indicated the mission time and the new targeting information specific to him, with similar details of his teammates' targets and projected movements. Things were about to get hairy as the firefight would commence in 5, 4, 3, 2. The soldier's visor display showed his teammates identified on the screen as Units 2 and 4, but nicknamed Tin Man and Tonka, respectively speaking, as they unleashed a salvo of shoulder-mounted rocket-propelled grenades. Once the shoebox-sized magazine launcher units were emptied of their cargo, the unit detached from Tin Man and Tonka's shoulder harnesses, falling to the ground, and in 5 seconds ignited the second charge, which would turn the secret technology into a piece of unidentifiable metal slag. Enemy R&D would not have anything to reverse engineer and deploy against the soldier's nation. The troop vehicle and APC exploded in a shower of white phosphorus light. The smaller vehicles and the bunker's motor pool were also targeted and destroyed. Units 1 and 5, Steel and Tank, placed magnetically held charges that blew the bunker's twin door open and cleared a 20-foot path inside the bunker, smashing any defenders standing too close to the careening metal armor. The soldier's heads-up unit flashed an LED green arrow. He proceeded to take point, lead position on the dynamic entry. His superiors and the intel boys would watch the soldier engage the hostiles who command insisted were not there take defensive positions inside the bunker. Steel and Tank flanked the soldier as he proceeded in the direction his indicator directed. The lab and enemy database would be through the last set of metal blast doors. Tank would activate the blast door's control. The soldier, and Steel, would eliminate anybody unfortunate to be standing in the secured area. The soldier almost felt bad for the eggheads in their lab coats, but after what he and his teammates had personally experienced due to these scientists' work, that same technology would not be allowed to be deployed against his countrymen. It was all the reason the soldier needed to suppress the momentary feeling of compassion he felt for the other living human beings. Tin Man and Tonka had taken positions at his 6 and would protect the advanced unit's back. As Tank activated the door's entry system, hydraulic pistons pushed and pulled in antagonistic motions, pulling the heavy blast doors apart. As the doors parted, the soldier could see instantly this was no R&D lab. It was a secret armory that held the monstrous battletech already conceived and made real. The soldier and his companion stood looking at an advanced and heretofore unknown weapons platform that looked like a tank in design, only as large as a 2-story building, and it was floating on some sort of maglev or gravitation pulse energy projection. Flanking the floating super tank were 22 enemy fighters in what looked like combat armor similar to his own. 5 versus 20 similarly outfitted fighters and an unknown weapons platform is not what the soldier or his team had expected, but they would not let the unexpected development deter their mission any longer. So the soldier opened fire on the grouping of armored fighters his battletech had assigned, Tank and Steel unleashing fury on their predetermined targets. Thousands of miles away, officers in Strategic Tactical Command watched as the battle played out on monitors, providing the individual perspective of the elite fighting unit and the multi-band sensors of their own drones and military satellites flying overhead. They watched silently as their secret weapons tore through now revealed enemy armor. The armored fighters dropped or blew apart as the soldiers' team's superior firepower penetrated their enemy's best R&D tech. The sense of satisfaction was beginning to build in the soldier and his team as they concentrated fire on the remaining enemy combatants. As the last of the enemy fighters fell, the soldier and his team looked to each other. Instead of relying on the visors to inform them of each other's status, a silent thumbs up from Tank, another from Steel. The soldier returned the gesture to his compatriots and looked to Tin Man and Tonka. Tonka flashed his thumb, while all 4 now turned to look at Tin Man, reloading his weapon. As his ammunition clip snapped into place, he looked at his teammates and displayed an erect digit. They were all good. In the chaos, they didn't take note of the floating tank. It simply floated there. Command began piping new orders into the soldier's headset. They would breach the unknown weapons platform and collect usual data. As the orders were being announced, the quintet did not notice that the floating tank's main gun muzzle lowered and point at the soldier and his fellows. The orbiting satellites picked up a huge energy spike in the region. As the region surveilled was occulted by a huge flash of light. Then nothing. The bunker was no longer on their monitor screens, only plumes of skybound smoke. The soldier floated in and out of consciousness as he was loaded onto the critical care air transport ship. "Don't worry, son. We're going to patch you right up." The soldier knew it was bad. The flurry activity of around him was all too telling. He wasn't sure what had happened, but he knew it was bad. He tried to move, but he was securely strapped to the medical gurney. His left arm felt the taut safety strap that secured it to the gurney, but he felt no such resistance on his right arm, only pain in his right shoulder. The soldier knew that the arm was gone. He knew his legs, too, were no longer a part of him as well. The soldier knew what this meant. He had seen it all and heard it all before. He knew exactly what happened to men like him. As he was wheeled into surgery, the anesthesia mask was lowered to his face. He heard the major's voice again. "We're going to patch you right up." When the soldier awoke, he was relieved to see he was in his bunk and not in the medical bay at a top-secret medical R&D command unit. He turned his head to see Tonka still asleep in his bunk, Steel sitting on the edge of his rack, Tin Man cleaning his weapons, and he figured Tank most likely were in their pre-dawn PT session. The soldier stretched his arms and his legs. The smooth servos and the mini hydraulic pumps flexed and closed the soldier's fingers. Advanced polymer muscles contracted under duraplastic tough-skin derma. The soldier's feet swung from the bunk, feeling the solid floor through fiber-optic neo-neuron sensors that ran to his CPU organic impulse translator nodes. The soldier's brain, secure in its titanium housing, floating in a nanite-laden biomimetic fluid, would feel greater detail than his original nervous system might. His cybernetic arms and legs had 10 times the strength of human bones, and his polymer muscles were stronger and faster than he could have ever hoped to have been before that night with the tank, before the countless missions with Tin Man, Tonka, and his team, even before the Riyadh offensive in 2021 that destroyed his original body so long ago. As the soldier's CPU ran through its daily systems check, he quickly ingested an amino enzyme paste that would provide the required nutrition for his organic brain and replace the exhausted nanite organelles that supported healthy function of his remaining biological material. The unit's non-cyber command officer entered the secret barracks.
"In hit!"
shouted Steele. All 5 soldiers stood tall.
"At ease, gentlemen."
The commander smiled at his soldiers.
"We've had an incursion in the heartland. Seems like the little green men need to be taught another lesson."
The CO stopped in front of the soldier, his eyes staring sternly into the Mitsu-Sony synth eyes.
"That sound like the kind of mission you've been waiting for, Sergeant Bronze?"
"Sir, yes, sir," replied Unit 3, the soldier, known to his hybrid companions as Bronze.
You've been listening to Jim Dynamo's Bad Machine on the PPRN Radio Network. Be part of the Bad Machine Radio Revolution by following our Twitter page at Bad Machine Radio and by visiting pprnradio.net. Bad Machine is a one-man media production, the exclusive owner of all original content. Otherwise, no rights are reserved. 2016.